I wanted to show you how to replace the puddle lamp found on the bottom side of the mirror of a 2016 Ram 1500. This is for these style of rearview mirrors. To get started, I'd recommend a Torx T15, some tape, and a plastic pry tool in order to pry the mirror off. You won't break it if you're careful. I wouldn't do this in very cold weather, but I would tape, as you're seeing in the video, tape this up in order to protect the plastic. If you use a plastic pry tool, it shouldn't be a big deal, but I don't know, taping it's just a level of prevention that you won't regret it if you don't ruin it. Your mirror, you don't want to ruin your mirror, that's the whole point. But I'd recommend taping it, and you'll see the plastic tool, and then if you push the mirror on the bottom side and then pry from the top. So once you snap the mirror off, you'll see that you have some wires. Perhaps if you've got heated and auto dimming mirrors, you'll have to remove the wires. I wouldn't leave it dangle like I've shown here. Do as I say, not as I do, right? You don't want to take a chance of ruining the connector or cutting a wire or putting strain on it to where it won't work. So I'd recommend pulling it apart. You just have to remember to put them back together. It's not hard to do. They'll only fit one way. Now there are 3 screws that hold the outer shell on, T15 screws, and a snap fit near the bottom right of this left-hand mirror, as you see here. And I'll show you the exact locations of the screws. They're not hard to find, easy to find. I'd be careful not to drop them because you don't want to lose them. You don't want to lose one. But you see me pulling out the upper right hand screw, and then there's 2 on the outside. So the right hand mirror would be a mirror, no pun intended, of this assembly. And it's not hard to do. Once you pull the 3 screws out and there's a snap you push out of the way, you're 95% done. So once we get all the screws out, then you'll want to remove the shell. And once the shell is popped free, there's one connector that goes into the light. I found it easier if you could pop the puddle light out and then disconnect the connector. To be easier because of the way the connector fits in and the release for the connector. I got to be careful. You don't want to put a strain on the plug, but it does come out. It's not hard to do. So here we've got the shell off, and I pulled the puddle light. It's in my left hand. Here's the puddle light, and then the shell. Kind of show how it goes in. It snaps in. There's a groove there that fits into the shell. There's 2 snaps on the shell, and that's really all that holds it in place. But it's easier to fit it in, get it right. You can clean up the shell this way, and that's what I'm going to do here. And then we'll be back and we'll reinstall everything. Now, to remove the mirror, you'd have to remove this plug, and then there's 2 connections above it. Just slide that plug out, and that whole housing and receptacle will come out. You can leave it together. Then you can pull on those terminals. Don't pull on the wires, pull on the terminals. Now I wanted to show the hook and snap system. The hooks are plastic, fit into the bottom part of the mirror. That movable plate is for your adjustable mirrors, and it can move freely up and down. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see the hook and loop or hook system a little better. So sorry about the camera work, but it kind of shows you down there where those hooks slide right into those 2 posts. And I found out tilting the bottom out is not the best way to do that. If you tilt the bottom back in, and I'll do this in a second, it seems like the mirror is way easier to snap back into place. So see, I'll push it back in. As you see, put, well, you'll find the sweet spot. Then I'll push it in. They should line up. And then try to get in a closer shot. Sorry for the camera work. There you go. So get a good angle. They should slide in easy. Once they go in, it tilts, flips really easy into place. And then I used my thumbs. I'd use gloves if you're doing this. That way you don't have to worry about the glass shattering. Mine didn't shatter. It shouldn't shatter, but it snaps into place. You'll hear it snap. And you'll want it to have that tight snap so you know it won't fall out. And that's really how easy it is to put that thing together. Now, yeah, the video is a little longer than what it'd take to actually do it if you just did it on your own. Hope you enjoy the video.